Welcome everyone to the official Monetary and Financial Institutions Forum, Digital Monetary Institute Symposium. My name is James Brennan from Kroll. I'll be discussing cryptocurrency's regulatory impact. As I mentioned, my name is James Brennan. I'm Associate Managing Director at Kroll within the Compliance, Risk, and Diligence team. I'm also co-lead of the Blockchain and Cryptocurrency Task Force here at the firm. I am a certified fraud examiner as well as a certified Bitcoin professional. We help clients strategically reach their goals by ensuring that they have all of the necessary things to set up and succeed within their businesses, whatever that business may be. Today, we're going to talk about the crypto evolution, growing pains, crypto risks, and DeFi. The first two sections I'm going to go through pretty quickly to concentrate on really the important aspects of cryptocurrency in today's presentation, which are the crypto risks and decentralized finance. Crypto evolution. I've separated out the crypto evolution into three parts. This first part, the early years, which is pre-2017. Some refer to the early days of cryptocurrency as the Wild West, while others thought the only use was to launder money or it was used to buy drugs and guns. Similar to the Wild West, there was little to no regulation. You could actually see that people were trying to give cryptocurrency away. The other aspect that many people will remember or mention as soon as they hear cryptocurrency was that it was used to launder money or is used to buy drugs and guns, which, as we now know, is not necessarily true. Pre-2017, there were some regulations that were important or that helped shape the cryptocurrency industry. I'm not going to read all of them, but you'll have the opportunity to download this presentation to review some of these in detail. But as you can see, FinCEN was highly involved in shaping the cryptocurrency space way back when. Also, the IRS was important in their 2014 guidance that basically said to treat cryptocurrency as property. And then the most famous probably out of all of these on here is in 2015, the New York State BitLicense. Crypto's growing pains. With every maturation of whether it's a human or industry, they go through its growing pains. From 2017 to the current, there are many ETFs that had been rejected by the SEC. The SEC really has shown its colors and its beliefs in the cryptocurrency space through the denial of many of these ETFs. Additionally, this time we saw ICOs. Initial coin offerings in most cases were scams. They were the raising of funds for many of these cryptocurrency projects. Again, the regulations, and I'm concentrating on the US obviously because I am in the US, but many of these regulations are very specific to the United States based on our financial rules and regulations around money services business, as FinCEN seems to be the regulator that really has stepped in to take ownership over this asset class. In 2018, the SEC probably made one of its most important announcements in that Bitcoin is not a security. And you'll see some of the others. 2020, the OCC allows federally chartered banks and thrifts to provide custody services for crypto assets. Maturing. So the first section in the evolution was the early years. The second was sort of the growing pains. And now we come to maturing and DeFi and what I believe we are going to be seeing in the future. And I'm going to be talking about this towards the end of the presentation, so I'll save it for then. Growing pains too. So issues that adversely impacted companies early on. The first thing that I wanted to really discuss is the lack of experience. Many of these companies had tons of intelligent, much smarter than me, people at their helm. They didn't have the experience to set up the company as a true company as we would have expected. So having infrastructure, having human resources and things of that nature. So there was really a lack of experience that many of these early companies faced. Compliance isn't a sexy thing, so it was always an afterthought. So making sure that they complied with the various regulatory obligations of whether it's the United States or any other jurisdiction for that matter, was not something that was high on their list. They were concerned with making money, with building revenue, building client base, and last but not least is the lack of regulation. And that's gray. Well, I didn't do that on purpose, but it really shows the gray area of regulation within not just the United States, but globally. Nobody really wanted to take ownership of cryptocurrency as we would have liked. And so that was always on the back burner of, well, could we do this? Can we do that? And it was very difficult for the management teams with this lack of experience, with not spending money on compliance, to make decisions because there was a lack of regulation. Crypto risks. So the risks associated with many of these cryptocurrency activities are similar to risks that any company faces when it comes to anti-money laundering or compliance-related risks. So the AML risk, the risk that many of these companies will face relates to not having the proper policies and procedures set up. So similar to most companies across the globe, you need to have an AML program, an AML program with a risk-based approach to be set up and implemented at your firm. KYC risk is know your customer risk. The biggest risk that cryptocurrency companies face, whether it's an exchange, whether it's a fund of some sort, is being able to identify those individuals that they are doing business with, whether it is selling cryptocurrency to, whether it's transferring cryptocurrency into their ecosystem. They need to understand who they're actually doing business with. Wallet taint risk. Wallet taint risk is similar to KYC, but it's sort of that nuance of cryptocurrency to KYC. So traditionally with KYC, we're able to conduct customer due diligence using various tools, information, watch lists, and things of that nature. But with cryptocurrency, we have companies such as Chainalysis, CoinFirm, and others like them that are able to put a score and observe the type of taint or money laundering risk or sex trafficking risk or any other sort of risk that may have been identified within the wallet of ownership for that cryptocurrency. Security risk is cybersecurity risk. Obviously, one of the biggest things with cryptocurrency is the security of the various exchanges, of the various information. And so one of the things that we're seeing and that we really help customers understand is what needs to be done from a wallet creation perspective. What needs to happen for custody? Do they have a key compromise or a KCP program set up? Key C generation, proof of access, and last but not least, key storage. Regulatory risk is again one of the key risks that we are facing in the crypto space. Again, similar to the slide prior to this, there's still a lack of regulation than what we would like to see. And so having an understanding of what has been done in the past will hopefully be able to help us understand what's going to be done in the future so that we could prioritize and be ready for when regulations come about. DeFi, now what? So to move ahead, you need to know where you've come from. cryptocurrency, Bitcoin specifically, started out as a decentralized. It was peer-to-peer, so and there was little to no regulation. Then steps in FinCEN, and they start and do their best to regulate it, utilizing rules and regulations that already existed for other financial instruments and applying them into cryptocurrency. Also, at the same time, we see the popularity of cryptocurrency leading to centralization. So the Coinbases of the world, all these different exchanges are starting to come about. And then we're seeing institutional acceptance. And then regulators getting more comfortable with the landscape. So as the popularity of cryptocurrency has grown, institutions have been able to get more and more comfortable with what cryptocurrency is and what it does. And at the same time, these regulators are applying more and more regulations, and they're not necessarily new regulations. They're probably new. I would call them new and updated regulations, because have been around for years and years. And typically, if something works, we could probably change it and update it to apply to this new asset class. And then, we come to today, 2020, 2021, where we have the entrance of decentralized finance. So what is decentralized finance? And can the existing regulators control DeFi, or will DeFi control them? DeFi platforms are open sources, meaning the code is made freely available for collaboration. There isn't an individual or a company who owns it or even runs it. So when it comes to rules and laws and compliance, regulators have clearly intended to apply them to institutions that are able to employ a compliance officer or many other things like that. So in the case of DeFi, there's not much conversation about who is there. Most of the conversation is about who the responsible party is. DeFi refers to products and tools built on open blockchains like Ethereum. They're decentralized or not controlled by an entity or single source. They cut out the middleman. So that means that there's no intermediaries with decentralized finance. How will new regulations account for DeFi transactions? The biggest issue with DeFi is who's the responsible party? Who is the party that is going to take ownership of the transactions that are occurring through the DeFi platform that we're talking about? How do they conduct KYC? So if there's no responsible party to the platform, there's typically not going to be anyone to actually conduct KYC. And so there needs to be some sort of decisions made from a regulator perspective, who the responsible party would be. Is it the person that owns the domain name of the website? Is it, individuals that may own governance tokens from the platform? Is it someone who may have some sort of economic benefit within the platform? All of those things are things that need to be determined probably sooner than later. And then once we determine who conducts it, how is it conducted? So we have tools, traditional tools to conduct KYC on individuals, source of wealth, name, address, phone numbers, and things like that. But again, with cryptocurrency transactions, they're wallets, they're wallet addresses. So how are we going to conduct the KYC on a platform that is open source, that has no one that is actually responsible for conducting any of this KYC? We're probably going to need to create new tools and think about this in a different way. And I think that's where I see the regulations and regulators and cryptocurrency and the cryptocurrency experts coming together